What's up, everybody? This is Rich, the Side Eye Stitcher, coming in for at this point it's been like 35 days since my last update, but the summer's been busy. There's been a lot going on. I've been quilting quite a bit whenever I get the opportunity to. I have not done any cross stitching. It's kind of a shame, but I actually found a free cross stitch chart online. I'll put a picture of it up here or over here, whichever side it is. That I'm gonna pick up the floss for, and I'm gonna do it this week in hopes that I can just get back into the swing of things, because it's been about a month since I've even picked up a cross stitch. I have been busy with quilting. There's been 2 projects that have really consumed most of my time, and I think I showed the start of this one in my last update, but I've been doing the Flying Geese quilt. It was a freebie pattern. This is one of 2 colors for 1 row. It's like 2 nights worth of Flying Geese. It's just a lot. I have 2 more colors. There's four sides here that are ready to be sewn on. All my points were pretty good. We'll see how they do when they line up side by side. But so far they look pretty good. The center of this quilt on the pattern was a yellow panel that went with the fabric line that he used for the rest of the quilt. I'm not using that fabric line. I'm using this text-based fabric that I found that I really liked, and I didn't really like the yellow and I couldn't find it. I didn't really want to order off Etsy, so I went to my local quilt shop and I found this, which I like. And it's got all of the colors that I'm going to be using for the quilt itself in the pairs that are really similar. So I thought it was perfect match. So I rolled with it. I got enough that I did the middle. And I'm going to start sewing some more rows on tonight. And I've got those that need to get put together. And I think there's 3 more rows of Flying Geese that need to go on that quilt, which is a lot because of the biggest rows of the colors and then the outer border. So there's still quite a bit of time that's involved with that one. So let's see, there's been a couple small finished projects. I know that I showed this one a while ago when I started it, but it's a Sashiko template fabric that I found at Road to VA at the beginning of the summer, and I have really enjoyed doing this. This is kind of one of those things that I brought. This is my travel sewing tin. I just kept this in my travel tin, and whenever I was sitting somewhere that I had a few minutes, I would sew on it. And that has led to a couple other projects. One of the other things that I finished is, because I'm kind of addicted to English paper piecing, is I made this adorable little let's push my needle stand in. This adorable little pin cushion. It was English paper piece. It came out way smaller than I was anticipating, but I mean, I don't know what I was thinking really, because it's 1-inch hexagons. So it's what I had, and I made it work, but it fits perfectly in my little travel tin, and I've got everything else I need in here. So 2 game changers that I've found for English paper piecing. Well, I guess let's back up a minute. With this, I used glue basting. It worked. It was a royal pain for me to get the glue off. I don't know if I used too much, if I got it in the edges. I don't know. It was a real pain to get it out. So I've also been, I mentioned this project or this idea many months ago, where I wanted to be able to take kind of a block from every quilt that I do, and then, I don't know, maybe yearly, like put them culmination into one big quilt with all the different fabrics. And this is one of the colorways. This is the blue colorway from the last quilt top that I did, that I really love these fabrics, and I didn't want them to go to waste, and I had extra. So I decided that I'm going to do this. Do English paper piece, kind of some big hexagons out of them. Is that really a hexagon? I guess so, maybe. But I went back to thread basting because it's been much easier. There's been a few game changers with this for me. One, I went to the actual English paper pieces templates. They're like a really nice weight paper. They're not super thick like the other stuff that I ordered off Amazon. But they're just rigid enough to hold up. Good Aurifil 50 weight thread for actually sewing the blocks together has been huge. And then the last one, which I mean you're not able to tell, is these little needles. They are Tulip number 10 Big Eye applique needles. They're tiny, they're super sharp, and they're great for doing this. They make it super easy. They make it more, like, I don't know, like I say, more enjoyable, because I enjoy doing it regardless. But they make it very easy to do. I like English paper piecing because, like, it fits in my little travel tin here. This goes in my backpack, and wherever I'm at, I can pull it out and I can work on whatever project I've got in there at the time. I'm going to do another sashiko project after I finish this round of hexagons, because I really enjoyed this. It's very relaxing just sitting there, and it kind of takes your mind off of things. The big finish that's happened since my last update is this guy. This is my Shibori hand-dyed quilt. It's done. It's a hand quilted kind of a sashiko style. The blocks, each block has got that, and then I hand quilted on binding. I did machine quilting with a nice dark blue 12 weight thread up each stitch in the ditch, up each seam. It turned out amazing. I washed it. It's great. There's like 7 by 8, so I'm not even pretend to do math, but it took about 3/4 of the way into hand stitching these blocks before I really had the best grasp of what to do. So if I could go back, I would do them all that way, but I mean, hindsight's 20/20. But moving forward, I think I have a much better grasp of how I would hand stitch this, and I really wanted to do a full quilt hand quilting. It sounds crazy, and when I did my first block, I thought I was crazy, but once I got a few blocks into it and I started getting moving, then it went super quick, and it was very, very easy to do. I'll just do it quick. That's what it's looking like. I was going to film a whole video, because I did film a lot of the process for this from start to finish, but none of the video is very good. I've tried piecing it together into something cohesive, and nothing I do really works, because there was a lot of just camera on the sewing machine and not really any talking for context, and I don't even remember what I was doing really when I was doing the video. So it is what it is. I've got it so that if someday later on I want to use it for something else, I can. I would like to do another one of these quilts. That might be my winter project. I think I'm going to try and do one that's closer to the inspiration for what this one was, with more like a pattern going up with consistent blocks, which means that this was an experiment, and each block is different. Whereas, like, I need to do, 7 blocks that are all very similar in pattern and very similar in shade, and then vary the shade as they go out. That's the goal. And then I think I'm gonna work on that this winter, because like I said, I really enjoyed this quilt. There's so much of these hand sewing projects that I didn't think I would like, but I truly enjoy. So this quilt is finished. And then the last is a project that's coming up that I'm going to do a video on. I picked up this big stack of Kona cotton. I downloaded from Amazon or wherever I get my ebooks from, the Modern Improv Quilt. I'll put a picture of it up. And she's got some projects in there that I really enjoy. And I want to do multiple of them, but there's one that's just 2 colors. I'm going to use 3 just to make my fabric go a little further. There's one that's 2 color project that is really big blocks that I kind of want to try. So I'm going to make a video about that. I'm going to try and do a better job of filming from start to finish with actually talking at the camera and then showing what I'm doing and then making it a little more interactive, so it's not just, I mean, it would have, the footage that I filmed for the Shibori quilt, there was just a lot of, it was either me talking straight to the camera or just random overhead footage of something that I was doing for an hour, and it didn't really make sense. So I'm going to work on that one. I'm actually starting that project tonight. As soon as I'm done filming this, I'm starting that. But otherwise, I think that's everything. I keep telling myself that I'm not going to film an update because I don't have anything to update on. And then when I actually sit down to record, there's a lot. And that doesn't even mention I've got small little projects that don't really have anything to show for it yet, but I've started them. So you'll see those updates coming kind of as we go along, which should be exciting. So thank you for sticking around this far, and I apologize that it's taking me 35 days to get an update out. I'm gonna try and go back to the weekly something, so that it held me a little more accountable for getting things done and then actually having some updates to show for it. So thank you for sticking around this long, and like, subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you think I should do something totally different for my next Shibori quilt, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.